Yo, what's good guys? This is Nightwing2303 from WearTesters.com. This is one of my favorite shoes of all time. This is the original Jordan Jumpman Pro. This is also the very first Team Jordan or non-signature Jordan that they ever came out with. This is also the very first Air Jordan or shoe in general that I saved up for an entire summer so I could buy it for myself. This is the version that retroed last in 2009 or 2010, and this is the Nike ID edition. These were horrible. And then this is the brand new edition of the shoe, in which they were able to mimic the look of the original pretty nicely. But Jordan brand.
Breaking my heart. You're going down a path I can't follow.
I mean, come on, dude. You guys are fucking up all over the place with some of these, man. How could you put this out? How could you realistically put this out? I had to wait almost an entire week to make this video because when I got these in, I was pretty pissed. And seeing a white guy angry on camera about sneakers is such a first world problem that I was like, I'm not even gonna record right now. I'm just gonna like let it marinate and then I'll get to it later. Later is now and I'm still pretty peeved, dude. So, let's get into it. So first off, we're going over the original. Now this guy was, again, a team shoe. It was a stripped down model. Rumor has it that these were originally supposed to be the Air Jordan 12, but MJ didn't like the initial design. He didn't like that they were mids. He wanted more of a high top. And so the actual Air Jordan 12 was the actual Air Jordan 12. Again, that's just a rumor. I don't know if that's true or not. That's just what I remember hearing back in the day. This is before blogs and, you know, Nike Talk and all that kind of stuff. So whether or not it's true, I honestly don't know. But all I know is that this was $110 back in '97, and it was an awesome purchase. You had that red translucent rubber, solid rubber traction pods, full length carbon fiber spring plate, Phylon midsole, full length Zoom Air. I mean, we're talking, you know, tech for tech. This was a Air Jordan 12 clone, but for 110 bucks. And the Air Jordan 12 at that time was 150 bucks. You had the little metal lace toggle right there, full grain leather upper, like, they still smell like cow's ass. It's awesome. The padding in here, so soft, dude, so soft. Bruh, I'm not even playing, man. Like this is a team shoe done right. Then you fast forward to 2009 and they decided to retro the shoe, and I was super excited because again, this is one of my favorite sneakers of all time. It actually might be my #1 if I can actually sit down and like make myself make a list, but I'm too ADD for that. And then these came out. This was that retro. This is the Nike ID version. It's the same exact thing compared to the retail pair. I did have a retail pair. I ended up getting rid of them eventually just because they weren't like the originals, and just keeping them was like a disappointment to me. I keep these because my wife made these for me. These are awesome. She made these for me for Father's Day. I got my #3 right there on the back of the pull tab, and then on the back, instead of the Jumpman, it says Daddy right there. So, you know, I'm always gonna keep these. I think that these are dope. But what these guys ended up doing was stripping the tech completely and then raising the price. So what we have here is a solid rubber outsole. All of them came with the same exact looking thing. None of them had that kind of translucent rubber like the originals did, even the original colorways. And then you have a really firm Phylon midsole, which doesn't feel too good, and instead of full length zoom, they removed that. They left a 4-foot zoom unit, and then in the back of the heel they have a EVA kind of like crash pad right here in the back, but it's like hard as rocks. It doesn't feel great. Then they put a fake carbon fiber spring plate, and instead it's just a TPU shank. The leather upper is synthetic and it feels like garbage. And then for this particular pair, my wife went and chose the patent leather rear, but other pairs had the same exact, you know, synthetic leather upper or nubuck and all that stuff, and they all felt cheap. They all felt like garbage. You got this little plastic lace lock right here. The whole thing just is junk, you know what I mean? Like if this wasn't such a sentimental shoe for me, like, you know, it would be worthless basically. And then we fast forward to right now, which is 2017, and this is the latest version of the retros 20 years later. I cannot believe it's been 20 years. And this is how you kind of like do the shoe justice. Man, dude, like how could you even put this out? You guys, you know what I mean? Like I know that the people that work for the brand, not the suits, but I'm talking about like the design team, the color guys, the material guys, like I know that you guys are fans of these shoes. You're fans of the brand. How could you put this out and be like okay with that? You know, like I would have been putting up a fight if I worked for Jordan Brand. I've been like, no dude, like we gotta do this shoe justice. It's gotta have real leather at least. If you're gonna remove the tech and you're gonna remove the carbon fiber, you gotta put at least real leather on these, and instead you put even cheaper leather on them, and it feels like cardboard, dude. This is a cardboard shoe. It looks awesome. Don't get me wrong, it looks awesome. They're beautiful, but it's cardboard, and I'm just irritated. Retails about $140 this time around. So, you know, like I said, they were able to kind of mimic the look like really well. So they got that translucent rubber back on there. In case you're wondering why you can't see all the way through it like you can the original, it's because they have tinted colored glue now, and it's kind of like a white or bluish tint depending on which, you know, type of clear outsole they're working with. And so that makes the outsole not quite as, you know, translucent and everything, because behind it, it's more of like a solid color. If they didn't use that tinted glue though, you would be able to see past the translucent rubber all the way through to the leather behind it, just like you would on the original. And then same tech specs, 4-foot zoom air, heel crash pad made out of EVA. Doesn't feel great. And then you're still knocking off that carbon fiber. Like, why are you doing that, man? You know, like, you got the Jordan Future, like, you got plenty of carbon fiber spring plates laying around. It's the same spring plate, like, just use that, you know? Like, I don't know, man. Maybe I like these shoes too much. Maybe I'm being too critical. I'm not sure. This is what actual sneakerhead or passion looks like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't buy shoes for value. I don't buy them for Instagram likes. I don't buy them because I'm trying to look cool or anything. I buy them because I love them, you know? Like, I have an emotional attachment to them. It reminds me of my past. This is a clear example of that. And these, while they look just like the original, they're just not the same shoe, and it's like really apparent. So what we're gonna do is just do a side-by-side comparison and then leave it at that. So you can see the differences between the two rubber outsoles. And then again, you can see the real carbon fiber spring plate versus the TPU kind of like shank that they put in place that makes it look like carbon fiber, but it's not carbon fiber. The Phylon midsoles look the same. However, the original was just straight up Phylon, and the newest version is actually painted white. The heel tabs are a little bit different, even though they look the same. And I will give it to the newer version where the stitching is just much nicer and much cleaner than they were originally. And then you can see the heel emblem. The original pair is yellowed, so it's hard to tell, but the circle was originally silver, whereas the new version is white. The lace eyelet at the top is still plastic, but they did make it look a little bit more like metal, I guess. Not too much like it, but a little bit. And then the Jumpman logo is probably the best thing that they fixed. They put it back in its original facing direction on both shoes. It's not quite silver like the original one was, but it is still a much better look than what they did on the last version of the retro model. And again, if you're just comparing the leather to each other, I mean, the leather on this new version is such garbage, it's not even funny. And that's pretty much it. I personally, you know, I wouldn't really recommend these unless you're like me, where you're just kind of like nostalgic driven, you know what I mean? Where you just kind of like need that piece of your past. If you have the original, I think that's great. I happen to have one, but I do want a pair that I can actually wear, which is what these were for. I still am gonna wear these casually, don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna play basketball in them or anything. I would rather play in a pair of Air Jordan 12 retros because they actually put the tech in those, or the 31s or whatever, but you know, I'm just disappointed in what they were able to come up with 20 years later, you know, with the advancements in shoe technology, and the original version was better than the new version. I think that's pretty sad. If you're gonna be a retro brand, do it right. You know what I mean? Like, don't half-ass it, because there's people like me that notice, and the new generation, they don't give a f about these. Like, let's just be honest. None of these new kids that are buying your new retros give two shits about the Jumpman Pro. That's people from my era, and you're treating us dirty. Like, we're the OG fans. We're the reason why you are a brand right now, because we bought your stuff for so long, for the past 20, 30 years, whatever. This is garbage, dude. Like, this is not a way to treat your customers, you know what I mean? So I hope that these go to outlets. I hope that they go on the back wall for, you know, dirt cheap, just because they are that bad of a retro. And I'm not trying to be mean, not trying to over exaggerate. I'm just saying, like, y'all f***ed up, and I hope nobody buys these, man. Like, for retail price at least. I'm probably gonna be the only one, because I'll tell you right now, if I run into any other OG colorways, I'm gonna buy them, and I'm gonna hate myself for it right afterwards. But, you know, that's just me. That's just how I am. Like I said, I'm nostalgic driven. I can't help it. And I also love this shoe more than I can even like express to you guys. So this is where everything started for me. You know what I mean? Like, this is my very first shoe that I purchased for myself, and I just love them to death, dude. And these are just not, they look the same, but they're not the same. And it just sucks. You could have at least put real leather on these, man. For $140, you can't put real leather, you know? Like, that's just whack. That's so whack, dude. I can't believe that you guys approved this for release. And now I'm just like ranting and stuff, and like kind of like rambling. But anyways, these are the three versions, OG in the middle, the last time that they retroed right here, and then the newest retro here 20 years later after the original release. and they're just not doing it right. They're not remastering these or anything. So I'm disappointed. Let me know what you guys think. Are you guys even interested in these? Like I said, most of these new people that are into sneakers, they don't give two f***s about the Jumpman Pro. Let's just be real. There's a select few of people that do it, and when this shoe originally came out, we were between the ages of 13 and 18. That's it. So thank you guys for watching. If you actually watched, I'm sorry that this was kind of a negative Nancy video, but you know, it is what it is. When you put out shit, I can't help but just be disappointed, especially when it's my favorite shoe. So if Jordan Brand's watching this, come on man, y'all could do better than this, and you guys know it. So you guys should be ashamed of yourselves for putting this out. This is garbage. So thank you guys again, and until next time guys, have a good one. By the way, I was so irritated that I forgot to mention that they fit true to size, just in case you are wondering and you want to buy a pair for whatever reason. So yeah, true to size, and you'll be good to go. Thanks again. Peace.